Okpebholo or the APC. However, there's also the political angles, the political angles to it, and why maybe the man got more votes than he would normally get. So that is also. Then there's the Labour Party as well. So that is like a whole lot of things that there's a lot of gist that we're definitely going to have to break down. So let's start from the PDP. Now, SR, in your own assessment, the candidate of Asue Godalo, the person Asue Godalo, do you think it was good enough for the PDP to have put up?
Asue Godalo on all forms, anytime, any day, and any given Sunday, and even the day after that, is one of the best candidates that could run to be governor of any state in Nigeria, or even president by extension. Looking at his pedigree as a professional in his chosen career, and even his contributions in the public sector and all of that. So, of course, his candidature or candidacy or his persona or personality
was not the problem.
Is not and was not the problem.
Okay, makes sense since we're moving in that line. Now, since we're going there, now there's now a lot of allegations, and this is not just politics. Now, I've seen quite a number of videos, and even personally, how they've been saying that Mr. Obaseki or Governor Obaseki did not do well to bring a lot of governance to the people of Edo State, which in turn affected PDP and Asue Godalo, or one of the things that affected Asue Godalo's chances at the polls. That is one. Two, there's the angle of how Mr. Obaseki, sadly, a lot of these things are hinged on Obaseki, how Obaseki is one of the people, he seemed to have fought a lot of people and gathered a lot of enemies for himself.
He has. You know, look, forget anything. If you are objective in analyzing and, you know, looking at situations, you look at the fact that there was a lot of, there was a groundswell of support for him when his principal or his godfather in Nigerian parlance refused to support him for a second term.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that was what even got a lot of people to jump on the train and say, you know what? We don't care about godfather.
So are we going to say, can I say, sorry for cutting you short.
No, it's all right.
Since what you are now, can we say that so-called godfather saw this?
Yeah, maybe that's what he saw. Maybe, you know, according to him, some of the things he talked about, of course, was that the man did not perform as well as he thought he would.
Yeah, so that's the thing now. So are we going to say that maybe people did not listen to?
Yeah, a lot of people just felt that it was being victimized. That why would you bring someone then 4 years after bring the person that he contested against in another party to the same party? You get. So it was just more or less like political musical chairs.
Yeah.
You know, this one left this chair to sit on this one, and then the music stopped and everybody got up again. Then when the music played, they all moved around. That's what happened in Edo State. We've seen it in Kwara State too, where
and Kogi.
And yeah, all the one in Kwara, all the PDP people crossed to APC, and all the APC people crossed to PDP at some point in time. We're seeing similar dances of musical chairs in Rivers State.
Yeah.
And all of that. So no matter what happens, I think that Governor Obaseki on his own part might need to do some introspection. He needs to look at himself. If indeed the APC was the problem when he was there, why did he go to the PDP and have problems also?
Yeah.
And why did it look like they were a house divided?
Because looking at it politically, the man seemed to have had a lot of issues. And you remember, I think it was right at the bar where I was actually very, very vehement about. They didn't sound. How do I say it now? They didn't sound very convinced. Let me put it like that. They didn't sound convinced, and it sounded a little scared for an incumbent. I would have thought I would have thought that someone that has been governor for 8 years will be a little more confident in the person that he was bringing back or the person he was bringing that, there was a lot of allegations about how, the APC wants, and I'm like, the APC in Edo State, however we want to look at it, at least for the past 4 years, has been in the opposition. They are the ones that need to do more fighting, or that's the way it's supposed to look. A lot of
campaigning.
They are the ones that need to do more campaigning. You're the one in power, whether we like it or not. It is what it is. It definitely should have an upper hand. But now there is a lot of talk about different things and different people, things that a lot of people are talked about. Now there was the issue with him and his former deputy governor who had defied their so-called godfather to go with him. There was the angle of FCT 001, who was said to have helped him come to the PDP and win his second term, who he was also fighting. There was also the issue of a lot of other people, the House of Assembly members he had issues with, and so many other people. There was the alleged issue with the Oba of Benin, and I'm like, how did this man, and I would have thought that for someone to want to defy so many people, he had something to fall back on. However, I don't think he did, because with a lot of fillers, I saw there was a comedian today that had posted something. However, I'd spoken to a cousin of mine who said that they were in Edo a few months ago, and it was really appalling. And they're like, how has there been a governor for 8 years, and this is what is happening in Edo State? This is that there's nothing, everything is just horrible. Like, there's no infrastructure, nothing is working in Edo State. And I saw a video of a comedian today also. It went on, it was about a 6-minute video. It went off on Governor Obaseki. And I'm just going to say that if politically, and maybe it's just my thoughts, I might sound naive. If you're going to defy so many people politically, at least your governance should speak for you. We've seen it happen where people have said, you know what, it's not about the party, we're done with these people, and but we know that this person has done so much for us, and there's nothing anybody can do.
Okay, in fairness to him now, because I'm not just going to jump on that bandwagon of he didn't do anything. You get, we can't heap all the problems of Edo State on his 8-year tenure.
Oh yeah,
there was an Oshiomhole before him.
Yeah,
and of course, the same way some people would praise Oshiomhole is the same way some people would knock him and say Oshiomhole didn't do anything. But when he starts to reel out what he did, because you probably didn't join some kind of fact-finding mission to that place, you start to say that, oh, maybe he actually did some work. So I will not heap all that problem on him, because being also that, I've lived in Edo State for a couple of years, so I won't just heap it all on him. However, that is not to give him a pass. It's just to say that he probably could have done better. And if he had done, forget all the noise. 2 things that could have worked for him. A lot of people are not happy with the APC as we speak.
Yeah.
Majorly because of the president's policies.
Yeah.
And how harsh they are.
The economy is now.
That they are perceived, though. They are harsh.
Oh, yeah.
They are harsh. Even the president acknowledges that those policies are harsh.
Yeah.
He claims that, that they will get better and that it's...
but the cocoa of your right now is
harsh.
It's harsh.
Yeah. For that reason, you would expect that maybe people would do some kind of protest vote and support the PDP
really
or
thought
Labour
that
Party.
We'll see all
That's
that.
one.
If I thought maybe for more of Labour Party self.
That's one. For PDP or Labour, anything else than APC, you would have expected that sentiment. 2, the other thing that you would have thought is that based on an uninterrupted 8 years of governance under Governor Obaseki, his performance would have, swayed a lot of people.
Yeah.
People would be like, you know what? If he has done this much, anybody he brings we will vote for. Because we believe that they will
This person will continue
in the same vein.
Exactly.
In the same rich vein or form.
That's what
And when you now have to start having a hard sell after 8 years, I start to doubt your performance.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to really have a hard sell. People are just supposed to be like, man, you know what? Based on this person's performance, that worked for him when Oshiomhole brought him.
Yes. Now,
because a lot of people didn't know him. He wasn't a core party man.
Party person. Now, if we go by that, and we say that people should not have voted for APC. Now, the PDP is alleging, and they're going to court. It's not surprising. The candidate, the governorship candidate, is a lawyer, is a big-time lawyer. So it would have been shocking if he said he was going to go to court. However, what they're alleging is that there was a lot of rigging. Okay. So much that the deputy director of the Edo PDP campaign was on TV this morning, Willie. So, I saw a comment where someone said, this is the perfect representation of it ended in tears.
Oh, yeah.
It actually did end in tears.
So you go on national television to wail.
To wail. I don't think it was a good look. Anyway, so...
To what effect now?
Now... Do we now say...
What were you trying to achieve?
People's sympathy.
Sentiment.
I think we should have realized by now that
whipping up sentiment.
That doesn't work, especially when it comes to courts and all that. Now, since we're going to that angle, now, do we say that the APC, of course, for people that do not know, the APC won the election. Won the election by over 40,000 votes. In fact, it was very convincing because if they had added what the PDP and every other person had won votes, they still would not have gotten to what the APC won in Edo State. Now, do we now say it was just the APC that rigged, or if there was any rigging done at all? The honest truth is that nobody knows how, or people, we don't have empirical facts here, but it's alleged most of the time that there's a lot of rigging and vote buying that happens across different parties. So, do we say that APC did more rigging than anybody else? Or there were so many people that were for Obaseki before that in the person of Shuaibu, who was back in the APC, Oshiomhole, Wike's issue, it definitely has it in for Obaseki. So, do you understand that angle as well? So, do we say that it was about the rigging, or it was about the chieftains or people that had a lot of block that they were going to vote, which probably helped him win the last election?
It's a combination.
People just believe that APC was going to do better.
It's a combination of many things. Some of the things you mentioned were definitely going to come to bear on the situation. There's no way you can rule out the fact that it seemed to have burnt a lot of bridges.
Yeah.
And, for instance, it was alleged or rumored that he had a lot of support from APC governors when he was running for the second time.
Yeah.
I doubt if he had that support for Aswe Ighodalo.
Did those governors do that? I don't think though that was there anymore. Everybody.
It was alleged that they were there before.
Yeah, a lot of APC governors. Okay, so that's
the support of the core PDP. The PDP had become fragmented. They had two primaries on the same day. All the other candidates that were aggrieved were at the other primaries because it looked like Ighodalo was going to get the shoe in. He was just going to get the official nod without much stress. So he didn't have the support of the entire PDP.
Yeah.
That's also another factor. Love him or hate him, Adams Oshiomhole still remains an important factor in Edo politics.
Yeah.
That's another angle.
Yeah.
Now, the narrative, to be honest, I actually didn't follow up the case of the Oba of Benin being taken to court by Governor Obaseki. A lot of people have been alleging it. It's something that we need to even be sure that it even happened in the first place, because if that had happened,
even if there was no court case, there was a lot of rumors about friction between him and the Yoruba being.
If that had happened, and there's a perceived, even not that it happened, if there was a perceived notion of some kind of rancor surrounding any individual and the Oba of Benin, there's trouble. There's something about the Benin people and their monarch. They don't play with their Oba at all. You know, they actually love him. You know, it's not every Oba that you can say this about.
Yeah.
It's not every royal personality or father, like we like to call them in Nigeria. We call them royal fathers. I don't think they are called like that in other countries.
No.
It's only Nigeria. It's Nigerian phrase, royal father.
Royal fathers. So it's safe to say that culminated a lot of these things, helped the APC.
Yeah. And trust me, again, if you don't know the truth, politics also comes with magic, aka rigging.
Yeah.
You can't rule it out. You cannot say it happened because you don't have proof, but you cannot say it didn't happen. But remember that, as usual, on every Nigerian election day, people are arrested.
Yeah.
Vote buying is a form of rigging.
Oh yeah. So that you cannot even add it, because at this point there's allegations of it happening across board.
Yeah,
around different parties.
Usual. That's what I'm saying now, that it's actually a feature of Nigerian politics.
So now we move from that, and we're still going to where I would have thought would have seen a bit more protest votes. And this is the angle of the Labour Party. At the general elections, which was barely a year ago, Labour Party had a very good outing at the presidential elections in Edo State. Hate it or love it, it was good numbers. Do you understand? However, what now happened between that time and this time? Are we going to say that, because they too have a lot of internal issues, are we going to say that they didn't have their house in order? Are we going to say that the candidature of Olubide Akpata was not big enough for them to make their mark? Because even if you were going to not win the election, take for example Peter Obi's candidature for the 2023 presidential election. He didn't win, but you can't compare him to, no offense, but Omo Yele Sowore. Do you understand? For someone that had about 6 million votes, however that came up, we don't know, and we whatever it is, but officially he had about 6.1 million votes. He could not be, as much as he didn't win that election, I would have said that he was a formidable opponent for the APC. Looking at the governorship election in Edo State, it was not even, Labour Party did not even have 30,000 votes, where they were talking about how the PDP and the APC had over 200,000. I think it was a very awful showing for a party that is planning to take over in 2027.
Yeah, those are important things worthy of note, things that we should look at, and talk about. However, one thing that we should also quickly take a look at is power sharing. If we say that, for instance, a governor is from a certain region in a state, and another candidate is coming from that region, regardless of party, people might not support that person.
Okay.
A good example is, for instance, Muhammadu Buhari is from the north. Not just the north, it's from Katsina State. Katsina and Adamawa, they are neighbors, Abi. They're from the same region.
Yeah.
Abi?
Yeah.
And an article came out to contest after 8 years of someone from his tribe. They are both Fulani men, right?
Yes, they
Do you
have.
understand? So again, in that angle, even if all the Fulani people were going to vote for Atiku, people who are non-Fulani would not be like, we cannot have that back to back.
Back to back,
So,
yeah.
Is it not widely believed that they are both from the same senatorial
Okay,
district,
so,
Abi?
but still.
No, I'm just bringing one angle. Abi?
Yes, yeah.
Abi?
Yes, yes.
That's one angle to it. The other angle is that the people who supported Peter Obi during the presidential elections supported PDP, not Labour Party.
But should it be this bad? Look, so now let me be specific.
Okay.
According to the official results of the 2023 presidential elections, Labour Party, Edo State was one of the states Labour Party won.
Yeah.
Take, for example, they won Lagos State. However, it was a very small
You remember that
margin.
they actually defeated Obaseki at his own polling unit.
Edo State. In Edo State, let me be very specific. The APC had 144,471 votes. The PDP had 89,585 votes. The Labour Party had 331,163 votes.
Yeah.
They conveniently had at least twice more than what the APC had.
Okay.
Now, how is it that that same state, in about 1 year, yes, we might not even, that's why I said that, okay, because the governorship, what we see with governorship election, every election is different. Take, for example, Labour Party won the presidential election in Lagos State. They could not win the governorship election, which was exactly 2 weeks after. Yeah. So a lot of things can change. I agree. But how do we go from 331,000 to barely 22,000 in about a year?
It's the same
That
thing.
is less than 10%.
It's the same thing that I answered, actually. I just already answered that, but let me reiterate it. Virtually everybody that made up that 300,000 votes for Peter Obi in Edo State during the presidential elections voted for Peter Obi, not for Labour Party. There's a clear distinction between Peter Obi supporters, and during that period, they cut across parties, and Labour Party card-carrying members or supporters.
Yeah.
But because he had joined Labour Party, most of his supporters did not have a choice than to vote for him. If Peter Obi had gone to any other party, the Biscuit Party of Nigeria, they would have still gotten as many votes.
Okay.
That's the truth, because it was about him. If you want to look at it further, there have been runoff elections, even in Lagos. Remember that Labour had won the presidential elections. How come they're not able to translate to senatorial or House of Reps or whatever seats for them? Go away from that. Didn't we have elections in Osun State after the presidential elections? Abi?
Yeah, we did.
What happened? Go away from that. Go and look at Bayelsa.
Yeah.
You understand? There were elections in Imo. There are videos and pictures of people supporting APC candidate, and they are Peter Obi supporters. Do you understand? So you see, it's a unique system. It's a unique contraption that, for the sake of Peter Obi's career, I hope he's able to maintain it. The bulk of the people who support him, they don't care.
I don't think it's looking good for them.
Yeah, but it's still politics. It's just that it's his own job now to maintain that group.
That group for the party,
Until
because
the
it
next
doesn't
elections.
make any sense. And you know, other than that, even the candidature of Olumide Akpata, I'm sorry if this will seem out of place, but before the election, I watched a video where he was granting an interview, and he had said someone on Twitter, another anchor from another station had put out a poll, and he had won 71%. And I'm like, are we still on this conversation? Nobody ever wins polls on Twitter, ever wins elections. Like, this has happened. How many people? Don't even let's start calling names so that we don't embarrass people. But I'm not sure there were so many polls out there that saw President Bola Tinubu win that election.
If
I'm not sure if we go by polls, he should not have won that election.
If in 2024, any politician believes in online polls, the person does not understand politics at all. And it's not a Nigerian thing. Donald Trump, the first time he contested and won, nobody gave him a chance. You know, it was later that he grew his fan base.
Yeah.
But from the onset, a lot of people he was losing on a lot of polls. Do you get? Those polls are just a way of, I see it as a way of tuning people's minds. Remember that there were polls in the Nigerian election, and the candidate that they said would win did not win.
Did not win.
The candidate that they said would be third or second won. Do you understand? So if you are still and even those polls were even better conducted, as against a poll that was conducted on one app, one social media app, as against when you're supposed to collect data from a cross section. So if you have, for instance, if you have 96 million registered voters like we do in Nigeria, we have over 90 million registered voters. The poll that you conducted, were you specific about carrying members or
just regular people
or registered voters? Anybody can vote on a poll on social media. The person might never have voted in their entire life, but they will vote. Some people on social media have 4 or 5 accounts.
I'm not even in Nigeria.
They will even the ones that have 4, they will vote, Abi.
Yeah.
Like you said again, the ones in diaspora. But when the real election comes, they're not the ones that are going to queue up in the sun or in the rain.
Exactly.
So it's two different things.
That's
so
honestly
I
saw that interview, I will not even lie. I did not take that man serious. It's from that day I'm like, this person is an unserious.
It sparks of a bit of naivety for anybody
I think I'm like, this person,
talk about
when I saw it, I'm like,
a poll. Are
you serious? I'm not sure this person is a serious person. And it definitely showed in the results. Obviously, so we're still going to be seeing a lot of court cases from this, which I think it's not out of place.
My prayer is that the court cases are expedited.
And they're done quickly. So we can move on.
They can actually prove their case on time to prevent another extension to the next election. Because, for instance, if Monday Okpeyolo gets sworn in, and by proving a case against him, they are able to win in court,
that shifts.
He would be removed. Another person will be sworn in. That shifts the next election by again. 4 years, because the thing starts counting
the day the person
inauguration
is sworn in. So we definitely will be seeing a lot more drama from Edo State. Just needed to break down.
It's lawyer season again.
Oh yes, it definitely is lawyer season. Talking about court cases, just wanted to put this out there. Mr. Nnamdi Kanu has decided he actually requested for the judge today to recuse herself. Yeah. Basically, it says that he does not believe he had shut down his lawyer in court.
Yeah, it was funny. The drama was very interesting.
And he
kept on telling his lawyer to sit down, to sit in court. You know?
And that he does not believe that he would get justice from Justice Nyako. And the prosecution had said that there's no need and everything, but she decided to recuse herself. What I think is okay, if a part of a case that you are presiding over they will always feel there's something, whatever way it goes. So I think it makes sense that she actually just let it go. So the file has said that the file will now be transferred back to the Chief Justice, and it will now be reassigned.
The implications of that is that this case is back to zero.
Yes.
It's back to the beginning.
However, he doesn't realize that it might not favor him, because it means that it's probably more time.
Yeah, because
before you get justice.
Some people would celebrate it as they asked for the judge to recuse herself, and she did, and for that reason, they had their way. And one of the reasons why they are saying is that there are allegations of a judgment from the Supreme Court. It's an allegation because I'm not sure that there's such a judgment in existence. That, of course, it should be set free and all of that. But no matter what they say or do, at the end of the day, it just says that, again, the judge has said, you know what, gladly, she has pulled out of the case.
It definitely is a dramatic case. So I'm sure that maybe the woman will even sleep better tonight. Anyway, talking about that quickly, President Tinubu has refused to assent a bill seeking extension of federal and state legislative officers' tenure. So the bill was asking for legislative officers for state and federal to be either moved from 35 years to 40 years, or I think from 65 years to 70 years. He has now said that he doesn't see a reason why that should happen.
Can you come down with those figures again?
So what the bill is asking for is that their retirement should be either after 35, before it was 35 years, should be moved to 40 years before retirement, or it should move from 65 to 70 years of age. For legislative officers.
I didn't know there was a cap on.
Oh, there are also what's it called, civil servants. It's a cap.
By legislative officers, who are you referring to?
Not legislators. No. Yeah. Not legislators. The officers that work there.
In the legislature.
Yes. All those people. Yes.
Are they not supposed to be part of the whole thing?
Yeah. So that's what they're saying, that they were asking for an elongation, and the president has now said he is not going to assent to that bill, and everybody should maintain status quo. Honestly, if the issue I have with elongating all these things is that when would new people come in if we keep?
Yeah, again, it's a two-way street. The other aspect of this is, for me, how much experience these people have, and that you're not supposed to shut down employment completely. It's supposed to be like a revolving door. You get, and it's good to have those caps in place. Remember that the term for judges was extended.
Yeah, it was.
You get, and as much as we want younger people to get employed and get into different spheres of life in Nigeria, we must also realize that we also need experience. So there has to be some kind of balancing act that's perfected in this guise or in this wise. So either way, for me, let it be that we allow the people who are there now to train the ones who are coming through.
Okay, today the House of Representatives suspended the plenary in honor of the late Ifeanyi Ubah, who was a member of the House. Also, the federal government is set to implement the new minimum wage there. Now, Kwara governor has also sworn in 16 local government chairmen. There were elections, I think, a few days ago. APC won everything. I think same thing happened, in Imo State. Same party. Let's just do what's the party that is in power is the one that wins all their local government election. Anyway, interesting news as I wanted to talk about, since we're talking about assemblies. Kogi State House of Assembly has now called for the immediate sack of the EFCC chairman. Yeah, you laugh. Exactly.
It is within their rights to call for the immediate sack.
To say whatever I did, what to say.
It's within their rights. That who is now going to sack the person?
The president.
Based on what Kogi lawmakers are saying, and everybody knows that their daddy has issues with.
But I don't understand what is so. You know that earlier in the year they had asked EFCC to remove the tag of wanted. My own is, why are they so invested in someone that is a former governor? We hear these things when maybe it's the sitting governor. He's a former governor. Like, what are you people doing?
Does this look like the treatment a former governor will get to you? That's why I think someone at the BoomBar last week referred to him as the governor general or something, meaning that he's just living a third term.
President General among the nation.
He's living a third term in the body of another person. It's the voice of Esau and the hand of his brother. What's his brother's name again? Is Esau and Jacob now,
yes.
and the hand of Jacob.
So they're condemning that the EFCC operatives had attacked the legal Kogi State government lodge, saying it was an attack on the governor itself and the entirety of Kogi people. Also,
can they also speak to their governor to stop getting involved?
Also, they had alleged an assassination attempt on the former governor and the incumbent. So now they are the governor is added to this one, stressing that persecution of the former governor has gone far too long and has to stop.
This is why a lot of people don't take politicians serious. This is why people start to allege all sorts of things against politicians. For how long are we going to sit back and allow these funny characters to do what they've done? I think the Kogi State House of Assembly should more or less concentrate on making laws that will better the lives of the people.
So according to them, they said the EFCC is out to humiliate and possibly kill the president and former governors. They also said that the House had put out an audited financial report of the state, and as they published by the state government, and the State House of Assembly can categorically say that there's no missing money to warrant EFCC's unwarranted witch hunting of the former governor. However, I wanted to just ask, but here when a school remitted some money to the EFCC, right?
Maybe
but
the governor's
where is that
personal
money? Okay, all right.
Maybe what they are saying now, since money is not missing, but somebody paid school fees 10 years or 5 years in advance.
So they're saying that the EFCC boss should be prosecuted for attempted murder to kill the governor. And he has called the president to remove him immediately.
I hope they are proof.
Please, I hope you call the president. Call the president. I expect the president that.
This sounds like a joke.
It is a joke.
Sadly, it's not. It's a sad reality. Look, what's up with the blind loyalty? It's good to be loyal to someone, but
I think this is why people don't take people seriously.
Shouldn't you guys be the ones telling him, to give himself up and go and prove? Since you say that,
so sure.
The Kogi State Assembly is saying that there's proof that no money is missing. So why can't he just go to the
exactly? They said that there's no issues. So let him go and clear his name. How is that so difficult? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. But like you said, there's nothing that will not see in Nigeria. Now let's do a little bit of sports. If you have time, we'll come back. Now, the very interesting news that I wanted to talk about is that the UEFA has now admitted a major error at the Euro 2024 that had denied Kai Havertz the chance, as a German, however, to play a penalty that might have seen Spain not win the Euros. Yeah,
that's not the only contentious one, actually. You also remember that Cocoyera had palmed the ball that looked like it was a foul.
Yeah.
And, Germany would have won that game. But according to the British referee who was on duty, his hands were adjudged to be in a natural position. And what that means is that it's not a foul, even if his hand touched the ball or the ball touched his hands. And that changed the course of that game. Because it was after that Spain won.
Exactly. So now, I will take this now to, did we always have all these issues before VAR? If we had these issues because there were a lot of things could not be seen with just the natural eye and just seeing once, I'm sure that was why something like VAR was introduced. So what's the point of the VAR if everything is still at the mercy of the what's it called now?
Human error.
Oh, it's still human error over and over and over again, especially with the Premier League. We see it a lot. However, nothing changes because nobody changes the result. But once or twice or everybody says, oh, okay, that should have been a penalty. Oh, that shouldn't have been a penalty. Oh, that should have been a foul. However, those decisions would have completely changed the game, could have completely changed the result of the game, and even maybe cost some people a cup, like in Germany's case.
Yeah, and again, in some instances, some personal glory.
Yeah.
For instance, maybe one more goal could change the course of someone's career.
Exactly.
It could even change the person's market value.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And and it has a spiral or a knock-on effect. At the end of the day, and also looking at what happens in the Premier League week in, week out, you start to wonder who bewitched this British referees.
They don't even let
it looks like they've really gone from bad to worse.
They're horrible these days. It's just horrible.
And you don't want to jump on conspiracy theories, but there's just too many handwritings on the wall. Like
it's not
a lot of things are pointing to some things not just sitting well when it comes to British referees. I don't know what happened to them.
I honestly don't know, but we'll see what is going to happen with that. However, speaking about the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, Nigeria's next opponent, Libya, had sacked their coach a few days ago. Now they have appointed Nasir Hadiri as the new coach of the Mediterranean Knights.
We are playing them in a few days' time, few weeks' time, few days' time. And they sacked the coach after our coach, one resigned, the other one resigned, then the third one
did not resume.
Then the fourth one is being alleged to be on his way. And in between that, a government steps up, and got some vital results for the league. And people are now saying, give Egwavo the permanent job. Give Egwavo the permanent. While we're still on all this drama, Libya sacked their coach after all of this, and they've gotten a new coach. How long does it take? Really? What are we waiting for?
But what does that spell for Libya, though? Does that do anything, the fact that they just got a new coach?
It could be a good omen for them to have sacked the previous one or lost him to whatever reasons that happened. The bottom line is that they have a new coach. Now he can get to work. He can start, compiling his list for the next game. He can even start working on strategies and stuff. But if you don't, none of these coaches will be ready because they're not sure. Like Anegwavo now might be doing some tactical or strategic work.
But you don't know who's coming.
But he doesn't even know if he's going to do the job or not.
Yeah, those things.
So the effect is the uncertainty, and it could affect either team, especially the Super Eagles.
I agree with you. Now let's go back, as there's gist that the NDLEA has intercepted an ex-convict with 4.6 billion naira worth of cocaine at the Lagos airport. Now
waiting worry picking the call.
What's exactly the issue?
Because fire service a bit waterboard day near. You call they take petrol, they pay for filling station. Like you already know that you're an hazard. You now hazarded your hazardous situation by ex-con. It's a flag.
So this is barely 16 months after he was arrested and convicted for ingesting 93 pellets of cocaine. A 48-year-old man has been intercepted again by the NDLEA to having 19.4 kilograms. Again.
Wait. So, somebody was arrested and prosecuted for being a drug mule.
Yeah.
And 16 months after,
he's out.
He's already out and he's already muling his drugs again.
So, according to the gist, he was first arrested in Abuja at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport in Abuja.
That Abuja is in another country.
Let me finish now.
Carry on.
From Uganda, on board an Ethiopian Airlines for ingesting 93 pellets of cocaine. The Federal High Court had convicted him 13th of July, 2023, just about 2-3 months after that. And he was sentenced to 2 years with an option of paying a fine of 3 million naira.
You see?
And he paid and was set free.
You see? Do you see the problem? You see the problem?
So the court ordered the forfeiture of the cocaine and his international passport and the money that was found on him. Now, he was now arrested again. The problem is that where did he get a passport to travel again?
The problem is that why was he given the option of fine?
Exactly.
With that amount of cocaine that he was arrested with, street value alone should be enough to lock him up for life. Lock him up and throw away the keys. But you see, it sounds like justice for hire. I didn't say it is, but it allegedly sounds like that. Because why is someone arrested with so much drugs and is given the option of a fine?
So this is where I have an issue with...
that are arrested in this country with even the small quantities that they are ingesting. So, and they are in prison. They're going to be there.
So this is why I have an issue with the judiciary.
There's something wrong somewhere about this guy's case, though.
Other than just this man, I think that it is unfair for the security operatives, the NDLEA, or the army, or the police, or anything. They do the hard work of catching these people, investigation, the EFCC, the ICPC, arrest, and all that. They do all prosecution. And for him to be prosecuted, it means that there was an airtight case against this man. And then you let the person go. I think that is very demoralizing for these people as well.
Even me that I don't work with them,
I think it's demoralizing.
Because you're saying that, all you're basically saying now is that if you commit such a crime, we will still let you
and
go
then there was
if you have 3 million naira.
3 million naira. Really? How much was it that he could? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's obvious that this is this man's day's business, and he's obviously in the database for him to be quickly known.
And it's still let out.
And he still got let out.
And now is back on the prowl.
Exactly. I think that it's completely
and
unfair.
Shipping drugs across borders.
Yeah, I think it's completely...
With the fact that he's not even supposed to have a passport
A passport in the first place. That's where all this conversation even go to. Anyway, talking about Nigerian agencies, NAFDAC has now seized flood damaged drugs worth over 5 billion naira in Borno State. So last week, a market was even shut down where traders were drying out drugs to be resold.
Look, it's one of the craziest stories you will ever hear in your entire existence. I know they are crazy stories, but you're talking about an entire city being flooded or a major part of a state being flooded, markets shut down because of the flooding, water recedes, and some smart Alex go to the market, their own market, because it's obvious that they are the owners of this drug damaged, flood damaged medication, and they put it out in the sun to dry. Now these are chemicals mixed with all sorts of things. So the compounds have already changed. The composition of those, the exposure to flood water. Some of that flood water, there was all sorts of microbes, and I don't want to mention the first word that came to my mind. Then you just magically make those things disappear by putting them in the sun.
Does it not?
Then you now go back and sell the same drugs to people. Innocent
Shouldn't there now be conversations where the markets, because there's a lot of compensation going on from the government to the people. Aren't there conversations where... Shouldn't there be conversations where people would now go to, to the government as maybe a market, that this is the kind of... I don't know if that is going to happen in Borno. I know that happened a while ago in Lagos State, even with fire incidents where the government actually compensates them with. And I don't think that it would be out of place if they do in Borno State. You understand? Even if they don't get everything, the state government gives them a fraction of some of this money. Isn't that a better choice than going out to want to purposely kill people?
But again, what kind of person are you to think
It's okay.
that medication, medicine, drugs, like we like to call them in Nigeria, that are meant to make people well, in what world is it okay to dry them out in the sun after they've been flooded
And they will
out
say that government
and
is bad.
sell to people like you?
I will say government is bad. Let's just
For your mind to even think like that, last song.
You are not a well human being. I'm sorry. You're not. I've said what I said. Anyway, quickly before we go, we're almost out of time. But quickly, the federal government as announced, is set to supply 12 million barrels of crude to Dangote refinery in the month of October. We know that the official kickoff of the Naira paid crude is supposed to kick off, I think, October 1.
Next week.
So, yes, so they're saying that in the month of October alone, they're going to be supplying at least 12 million barrels of crude to the Dangote refinery. Also, please, we need to be careful of Mpox. WHO has announced about 30,000 reported suspected Mpox cases in Africa alone, mainly in Democratic Republic of Congo.
Did the lack of significant reduction in the pump price of PMS shock you?
The what?
The lack of reduction.
Yeah.
Significant reduction. Like, oh, now we have locally refined PMS.
Do we still have it yet?
Maybe they said they started shipping. That Sunday that they said they were shipping. They didn't ship.
I don't know. That's what I don't know.
But
because the
PMS,
last, you know,
okay, so
the
the
one that
PMS
is amazing me is the fact that last we heard was supposed to be 790 something. Now we're bad 900 and something, and nobody said anything.
Yeah, but in some places it's 8 something. I got 8 something.
Yeah, like nobody's saying anything. That was it.
Yeah,
the
because
conversation.
the bottom line is that Nigerians just won't feel. That's it. We're at the point where
had stabbed people so much that
they know us so well. It's a system that works. Manipulate us by taking it out of circulation.
And then when people are tired, they just go with the
you're
flow.
already spending more than that in the black market, and then now start charging you something.
You just go with the flow.
People's cars are being damaged. All sorts of things are going on.
Yeah, it's
their
a lot.
pockets are getting smaller and smaller, while yours is getting fatter and bigger. But I'm just saying that by now, all the talk of starting PMS sales locally since the beginning of September has not trickled down. It hasn't really happened.
No, it's
so why would I be excited about your 12 billion barrels that you are selling to Dangote for October?
Anyway, we'll see where that is going to. Finally, please, just wanted to appeal. I think that Hezbollah at this point is good when people know people that are not your mates. And I'm not saying that I'm supporting violence, but it's obvious Israel is not going to stop. It doesn't make any sense. You can't be fighting people. Pick on your own size. It's not working. Just what I put out there.
Dolupo has spoken.
What's that supposed to be?
Man, I'm not.
It's just advice. Like,
did I say it was bad or good?
It can't make sense. It don't make sense.
Did I say it was good or bad?
Last week was the phone thing. Now they're just going on a spree.
Dolupo has spoken
They're
again.
just going on a spree.
Anybody that is watching this segment of the BoomBar, I say nothing about Hezbollah and Israel. I am not interested.
What is that supposed to mean?
Anyway, I have phones and
laptops. What is that supposed to mean?
I just don't have pagers.
Okay.
I don't hate anybody. I don't love anybody. I don't disagree with anybody, and I don't agree with anybody. I am for everybody, and I am for nobody.
On that note, that is all we have to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the BoomBar.
Shout out.
Beautiful.
I have nothing to say.